Hey, 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 welcome to a new episode of Superhero Deep Dive. I am your host, Jason, and I want to thank you for joining me this week, whether you are listening on your favorite podcast station, um, YouTube, or Outward Fleet Radio. I appreciate you. So, I have a fun episode. It's probably not going to be too long. I went for an obscure character, and they are very, very obscure as far as pulling information. But we're going to give it a go, and hopefully it'll be a good time. Um, Before I get started, I have to give my normal disclaimers. First of all, the sources or the superhero information pulled today is pulled from different sources across the internet and may or may not be completely complete, but they do give a really good insight on the current superhero. Now, with that being said, if there are other tidbits about the superhero that you have, like if you have questions, comments, critiques, extra info, requests for new superheroes to be covered, you want to chat, anything in particular, feel free to reach out to me. You can catch me on Twitter at superdeepdive, and you can email me directly if you'd like. And that is B4 it all at yahoo.com. So it's like B4 it all at yahoo.com. So yeah, let's get into it. This week I'm going to talk about the Dark Horse Comics hero Ghost. She always had a really cool design. It was like this lady, she's a brunette, and she had this kind of, it was like an all white outfit. It was kind of like a white, I would assume like white leather pants, white corset top, and the scarf that kind of turned into a hood. And she always had a couple guns. And that's really the extent that I knew about her. I never read her, never found out information. She just wasn't that popular at the time. She came about in 1993. So when she came in, I was roughly 13, 14 years old at the time. So actually 12 or 13, because I'm an 80s baby. But 12 or 13, and I wasn't into that. I was more into X-Men at the time, and Avengers and stuff. Just the mainstream stuff that you would get at your local bookstore on the comic rack by the cash register. But so I didn't really see all that till much later, and she's had a few series come out. They've never been full-blown like volumes, I guess, or they've just always been little series here and there, like mini series. So that's why there's not a whole lot of information. But I was able to find some stuff. Her real name is Elisa Cameron. The series took place in a city called Arcadia, which is intended to be like a grim, Art Deco-like city, kind of like Gotham City, or what you would expect from like a 20s or 40s gangster film. So everything I'm going to reference in going forward with that is under the guise that this is in the 20s or 40s. That kind of like Dick Tracy style, or Tim Burton-esque kind of feel. So it turns out that Elisa Cameron had nanomites in her body, which gave her spectral powers. And with it, she became an assassin, and her memories were erased. Now, having only a few memories, she believed she was an actual ghost and adopted the alias of the ghost in order to carry out her investigations. So yeah. And that was one source. Another source starts off basically saying Elisa Cameron is dead. She has a sister, Margot, with whom she slowly reconciles with and moves in with, as well as two recently sober parents. But she's dead, so she's been revived by these nanomites. But she's got two recently sober parents who are eventually murdered by a shadowy psionic, which is a kind of like someone with mental powers, that seems to know something about her past as a reporter, apparently slaying over a story she was covering. Because it happens. If you're a news reporter, you're gonna die. It's just the fact of it. You're gonna die covering a story. That's just what happens. But let's not tell Lois Lane that. But yeah. So she was a reporter. She was killed over a story she was covering. She has a natural weakness to jade, like the stone, which keeps her from ghosting out and being able to pass through objects. She discovers she does have also the ability to teleport or to jump, but she must cross some sort of hell to do so. And she also learned that like her jumps, her own personalized hell that she has to cross through, and even Nemo, which is some kind of like demon king, are all a construct of her own imagination. Okay, so all that's in her head when she does that. So it's just kind of crazy. It's just kind of crazy. It adds that whole little extra layer of we don't know what the heck is going on. And some people call that lazy writing. I don't really know what to call it. A hero is only as good as their conflicts. I mean, if we're going to be honest about it. So we have to find ways to spin those conflicts into meaningful ones to make the hero the best that they can be, right? So that's what we have to do. In this one, there's a lot to work with, but there's a lot to work with here. Like we have to do the work. So let's do that. Her powers. She's got power of flight, invisibility, phasing, teleportation, and accelerated healing. So, just like a ghost, really. I mean, just like a ghost. Relationships. She started a relationship with a man named Peter who was seen visiting the grave sites in the early comics. But it really didn't pan out. Maybe it was explained in the books. I haven't seen the books. I've looked, and I wasn't able to get a hold of books before this week's episode. But everything I'm looking at, they just said like she was doing some missions and she kind of reunited. Like her sister was killed, but then she came back. She returned from the dead, so she's alive again. And with her alive, she told Peter to get lost. And I have no idea what that is. Like, it's got to be written better than that. Please tell me it's being written better than that. You have a character here that is, for all intents and purposes, we can say, if you're looking for a mainstream equivalent, you're looking at Kitty Pryde, as an assassin. So let's roll with that. We can do better. We can do better. And I'm sure it was written out better in the books. If it is, let me know. Like I said, my Twitter handle is superdeepdive. And make sure you use the hashtag superherodeepdive. That way we know what you're referencing. But yeah, pull me some information on the ghost, because the character design is really cool. Like she looks like an awesome character, especially in the time frame that the artwork is set in. We just have to do it, right? I mean, we really just need this stuff to pan out. But yeah. So that's the only relationship I was able to find. Fun facts about the ghost. She has a weakness to jade, which we already mentioned, and can't pass through it. According to different spiritualities that I looked up, and I'm not saying it's like a specific one like Buddha or Buddhism or Wiccan or anything like that. Like, because I'm not going into those specifics because it's way too easy to misconstrue information, and I would not want to offend anyone. It's not my place. I'm here to talk about superheroes. But I looked up stones and their meanings, and jade was considered one of the most powerful stones for protecting you against psychic and magical attacks. It will deflect the attack on the sender with 3 times the power. And that's information I was able to pull up. So I'm gonna assume that the people creating the character found information similar to that, and kind of implemented it in. Like, it says she always had an affinity for Jade, and that's why it's her weakness. That's why she can't pass through it. But why Jade specifically? Is it because it's a green stone like Superman's kryptonite? I don't know. Do you guys hear a cat meowing in the background? That's because the cat's really mad at me for not opening the back door and letting her out. Because if I let her out now, she'll be out all night and I won't get some sleep. So I just had to throw that out there. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I'm assuming that they put this in as a spiritual thing. If she's imagining herself to be a ghost, maybe the whole Jade thing is in her head. Maybe she knew that Jades are supposed to protect you from ghosts or spirits or psychic attacks. So that's why it's kind of like a psychosomatic thing. She can't do it because she doesn't think she can. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think that's kind of an interesting tidbit. And I think it's worth exploring. But those are that's her basic information. Did I miss anything important? You may think it's important, but if I look at a lot of information, a lot of superheroes have plenty of stories, have plenty of all these little arcs that they're part of, but they don't impact the character a whole lot. So I don't include those in the deep dives because for me, a deep dive is to what makes the character who they are. I can talk about I don't know, I can talk about Superman and how he fought Doomsday originally to the death and they both ended up dying and he came back later and stuff. But then I may not actually address the time that he split into a red or a blue energy beam because he merged back to become Superman and it's never spoken of again. So it really doesn't have an impact on him. There's stuff like that. And if I can do Superman sometime, if you guys want, I'd rather not. I really like doing more of the obscure characters because they have the most room to have fun with, and you can kind of augment their powers a little bit when you talk about them. You can do things like that to where you're still being true to the character and the essence of the character, but you're not so confined because there's been 1.5 million storylines that are keeping this character in a box. Like, we all know Superman. We all know what he can and cannot do. We all know the lengths that he will and will not go to. So it's really hard to create storylines from it. The Ghost here, we don't know a lot about her, so we can have free reign pretty much to create storylines. We just keep basic information similar, right? All right, I'm going to get a sip of water. Okay, I got a sip of water. I hate getting water while I'm talking on the podcast, but sometimes a necessity is a necessity. And I do not have the audio editing skills to hit the pause button, take a sip of water, and then hit the resume button because I don't think about that. But okay, I'm sorry. I got way off track, way off topic. Let's go to my favorite section of the show. This is the Power Expansion set. This is where we talk about the superhero and what we'd like to see them in the future. If it's a movie, if it's TV series, which also includes like Netflix and Amazon Prime and Hulu and what have you. They're all the same. Your feature film stuff. If you just have an interesting story that would make for good comics, like with our Jubilee episode, we talked about her being a nuclear reactor, and having to basically redo the Phoenix saga only with Jubilee in it, and that wouldn't work except for a comic series, basically. So yeah, But you know, like most of them are going to be movies, and if they're movies or TV shows, who would you like to see play the main character, and why? You know, like that's kind of the fun of it. But I looked at this character, I looked at what was there, and more importantly, what wasn't there. And there's just so many areas that we can go with. Immediately, my mind went to the 90s movie The Crow. Because if you look, the character is very similar in the fact that they're killed. Um, you know, she died. The ghost died for a story. The crow died because his fiance and him were being, you know, they were fighting for, I guess, rights or something like that for their apartment building. You know, like civil rights kind of thing. Like, let's just boil it down to that. So they're kind of similar if you think about it in that terms. And they're both killed. They come back and they go on a rampage. So let's have it in that same vein. You know, that way we can keep true to the character. Like we can have the lead be a reporter, have her killed for getting too close to the story, as most reporters get killed for, because that's the common origin for if you're a reporter, you're going to get killed for getting too close to a story. But and then she wakes up and she has the nanomites in her, memories wiped, and stuff like that. Like she's like, you know, getting prepped for the next assassination that she's doing. So like let's have her wake up with that. It can slowly unfold to where the very people she was writing against are the ones that are controlling her to be an assassin. And as any story goes, she slowly starts to get her memories back. These can be triggered by familiar sights, like places she's been to, people close to her past life that she may be encountering for whatever, you know, stuff like that. You know, it could be anything. But we can get those internal flashbacks to her fighting her own demons like Nemo. So we can bring that Nemo character in, that Demon King. We can have her fighting him internally. But check this out. This is something I like, and I don't know if it's been covered in the comics. If it has, awesome. Then that means I'm on the same page as them. If not, then it should be, because this is great. Okay, let's have Nemo be nothing but a program by the original people that took her. Like it can be part of the nanomites that are in her. They are running this program, you know, of Nemo, and we can have it be short for something like I don't know, a neurological emulator memory oppressor or so. I don't know. But it's there to keep her memories from coming back. So it's all kind of Matrix style when she fights him, because it's all in her mind, right? It's all in this computer program. And that's an internal struggle she has. But the thing is, with the internal, just like in the Matrix, if you get hurt in the Matrix, you can get hurt in real life. You know, because what your mind thinks is real. So let's have that implemented too. You know, so she can be battling Nemo, you know, for control of her own mind, and you know, she gets little victories here and there, like she's slowly learning, and as she gets little victories, she starts to regain her identity, and a little bit more self-control, and she's battling the company, she's battling herself, you know, all this stuff. And, you know, we can just try to see how everything unfolds, right? So I think that'd be a really fun movie. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Especially if we set it, you know, I mean, of course it'd probably be present day, but you know, the theme of it all can still be 1940s style, like that noir style. I mean, we saw it work in the late 80s when they did the Batman movie, when Tim Burton did Batman with Michael Keaton. all the buildings had that kind of Art Deco style. So, you know, just let it be a fantasy. Just, yeah, just get the stick out of your ass, Karen. Let it be a fantasy. Let us have fun. So who do you think Ghost would be played by? With her character, I could see. I have two picks for it, and I'd love to know what you guys think. But I picked Jessica Alba, even though I don't really think she's into acting anymore. But she, for a 1940s style, like she would have the look. It would be awesome, and she's still in great shape. I saw her Instagram; she's still in great shape. Um, so it would be cool. It would be cool. I also picked, if we wanted someone younger and maybe a little bit more, I guess, quote unquote, with Hollywood. Maybe even, I think her name is Haley Steinfeld. She's playing in the Hawkeye movie or series as Kate Bishop. She was also in the Bumblebee movie. She was a girl from the Bumblebee movie. And she was in I don't know, she's in one or two of the Pitch Perfect movies. But yeah, she's that girl. She's awesome. She's a good actress. And she's got a look. She's definitely got a look that can work with it. So I think, and she's apparently, if she's playing in a Hawkeye movie or Hawkeye series, she's definitely got the athleticism to play someone with an assassin kind of background, and the internal Matrix type scenes. So we can let that ride. What do you guys think? Do you like my choices? I don't know what the character Nemo would look like, but if I had to pick an actor for that, I'd want someone that could be physically imposing, but also, kind of, you'd have to get someone that could kind of match the actresses. You don't want someone too big. You don't want someone, because you want to keep it somewhat realistic, right? I mean, even in the Matrix, Agent Smith was a kind of a physical match for Neo. So who would we get to play Nemo? I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know. I think it would be interesting. I don't know, because most actors now are in superhero properties. So let me see here. Let's see, current A-list actors. Oh gosh, I'm regretting hitting AMDB, but okay. All right, let's see here. Let's see here. There is Leonardo DiCaprio, Bradley Cooper, Mark Wahlberg, Christian Bale, Robert Downey Jr., Brad Pitt, Denzel Washington, Tom Cruise, Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Gosling, Tom Hanks, Hugh Jackman. They're like current A-list actors. I could see maybe Bradley Cooper. I could see maybe Bradley Cooper. I know he did, didn't he do, he did Rocket Raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy, but he was just the voice. So he could still theoretically do that character. You know what would be funny, though, is if Mark Wahlberg did it. Because Mark Wahlberg played in the later Transformer movies, And Haley Steinfeld, if she got cast, she was in the Bumblebee movie, so they already have that kind of Transformer connection, which is that's pretty dope. And he can definitely be physically imposing. Uh, so yeah. Let's see who else is showing up. Not Johnny Depp, not Anthony Hopkins, not Tom Hardy. He's already Venom. We don't need. And I'll be honest, I'm not that crazy of a Tom Hardy fan. Benedict Cumberbatch, no. Jake Gyllenhaal, no. Joaquin Phoenix. Matthew McConaughey, he did a good job in The Dark Tower. He could do it. He could do it. Matthew McConaughey could do it. I would dig that. And he would fit for both characters. Because he'd be physically imposing on both of them. And he could just be just sadistic enough to be this kind of like Demon King type character. Yeah, Matthew McConaughey. Only without the like stoner mentality. But he wouldn't do that anyway. He's for as much as he likes to have fun with things, he is a good actor. Idris Elba would be good as well. I'm sorry. I'm looking through current I think I'm on ranker.com. Yeah, I'm on ranker.com right now and I'm looking at like top actors or something like that. So, yeah. Yeah, let's go with Matthew McConaughey. That's going to be my top choice for the Demon King Nemo, not Nero. But I think it'd be funny. I think it'd be great. I think we could do this. I'm ready to do this. Let's do it. But yeah, that's what I got. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Let me know. Like I said, reach out to me on Twitter. It's superdeepdive, and make sure you use the hashtag superherodeepdive. I'm really looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say. I'm going to cut out for now. I want to thank you all. Everyone be blessed, be happy, do good things, do your part. I don't know. Be smart, and if you're not smart, don't get caught. Okay? I will catch you guys next week. Next Tuesday on your favorite podcast player. You can catch me, Superhero Deep Dive. You can look me up on YouTube under Superhero Deep Dive. And there'll be slideshows of the artwork along with the podcast. And if you are listening on Outworld Fleet Radio, you are awesome. I thank you. And I look forward to you guys tuning in the future. So I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.